In this video, we're going to show you how to build a DIY window cornice box using crown molding from Osborne. Stay tuned for a full tutorial. The first step for this project is to create the box that our crown molding and our panel molding will attach to. To do this, we're using some pre-primed 1x8 lumber that we picked up from the local hardware store. We'll be painting the entire box white, so this will allow for a smooth finish at the end. Before cutting, make sure to take a measurement of your window to figure out the desired width for your box. Then create a miter cut on each end using a miter saw or a circular saw that will allow for a cleaner glue up. Next, we can cut our two side pieces from the same piece of lumber. The length you cut these two will determine how far the box sticks off of the wall, so this is an important measurement to keep in mind. For this project, we chose a 5-inch side piece to avoid any interference with our curtain rod off of the window. Next, you can add some glue to the miters and tack them in place using a finish nailer or a brad nailer. The last step for the overall frame of the box is to add a top piece that we will use to attach to the wall later. For this board, I chose 1x4 lumber to make sure there's a flush fit on the back of the box. Once the top board is cut out, you can add some wood glue and tack it in place using a finish nailer or a brad nailer. It's important to make sure that this board is square to the rest of the frame, as this will help with installation later. Now that our box is built, we can begin adding the crown molding and the panel molding to the frame. I'll start with the panel molding, which will be the trim detail along the bottom of our cornice box. For our installation, we're using the Brantley panel molding from Osborne part 893166. This panel molding comes in beechwood and is available in multiple lengths depending on your needs. If you're interested in learning more about this molding, you can check out the link in the description below. Once you have your bottom trim detail cut out, you can add some wood glue and place it on the bottom edge of the cornice box. Once again, we'll use a finish nailer or a brad nailer to hold it in place and add some extra support. Next, we can measure and cut the crown molding, which will be our top trim detail on this box. To cut the crown molding, angle the piece against the top and bottom fence of your miter saw. When cutting this way, make sure the top of your crown molding is touching the base of the saw. This will ensure that your measurements line up and your miters line up at each corner without any awkward angles. Now that the crown molding is cut out, I decided to flip the box upside down and use my work surface as a reference to get a flush, even fit with the top of the box. This is up to your preference and can be customized depending on your space. Once again, I'll add some wood glue and secure the molding in place using a finish nailer or a brad nailer. When nailing in crown molding, make sure to locate the nail in an area that won't crack the wood or pop through the back side. Next, we can add wood filler to all of the nail holes, sand for a smooth finish, and add a coat of paint. To attach the cornice box to the wall, we're going to be using a piece of 1x2 lumber that we'll use as a mounting cleat that we can secure the cornice box to. Keep in mind, if your window does not have a header above it, you may need to locate a stud or use a strong anchor to support the weight of the cornice box. I'll center this mounting strip to the center of the window to help with aligning the box during installation. Before attaching the cornice box to the mounting strip, I want to pre-drill the holes to avoid any wood splitting, and go ahead and countersink the wood screws slightly to help with attachment. Next, I'll mark the center of the mounting strip and the center of the cornice box so that I can align the two easier. Then I'll place the cornice box on top of the mounting strip and hold it in place while I tighten the wood screws. For my installation, I did need to use a right angle drill bit adapter since there wasn't enough room between the ceiling and the top of the cornice box for my drill. This is something to keep in mind and may be a good tool to invest in if you plan to do this for your space. Now that our box is installed, we can reinstall the curtain rod and the curtains and take a closer look. Thanks for joining us for this episode. If you're interested in learning more about the products used in this build, be sure to check out the links below. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment, and we'll see you next time in the Builder Studio.